You mentioned Iran earlier. President Biden yesterday came out, 10-minute speech, sounded very tough and very supportive of Israel, but never once mentioned Iran. Was that a failure by him, or are they waiting to establish concrete evidence of Iran's involvement?
So I think there's a good reason he could have done that and a bad reason that he could have done that. And the bad reason is pretty obvious, which is that the United States has unfrozen $6 billion in assets to flood into Iran in return for hostages. That money is fungible. And there's every possibility that money flowing into Iran since the weakening of sanctions has contributed to Iran's spread of terror. That is not only a possibility, that's a probability, and everyone knows it. So if you avoid mentioning Iran, then presumably it avoids blowback. That is the bad reason. The good reason might be that the United States wants to take down the temperature in the region. So right now, geopolitically, this is a contained conflict. This is Israel versus Hamas in the Gaza Strip, and everyone of good heart on every side should hope that it remains that way. If Hezbollah, which is on Israel's northern border and is an Iranian client, Hezbollah is a massive and significantly more powerful than Hamas terrorist group that exists and has say in the government of Lebanon. Again, Israel is surrounded on a lot of sides by terrorist groups that masquerade as government. Hezbollah has about 150,000 much more sophisticated rockets than Hamas pointed at northern Israel. Everyone understands that if Hezbollah, which would only do this at the behest of Iran, if Hezbollah were to get in, Israel would then be stretched militarily to the point where they would not have any choice but to go full force. And what that means is that all of the talk right now about the supposed disproportionate force that Israel is using in the Gaza Strip, talk with which I wildly disagree, that will all go out the window, because once you are stretched to the point of extermination, all bets are off, and the Israeli Air Force will have to be unleashed on the southern border of Lebanon. At that point, you would have to imagine that Bashar Assad in Syria starts to get active, Iran starts to get active. So one of the things that the possible good reason why he didn't mention Iran is because he's attempting to keep Iran out of the war. That basically the idea would be, he did say in the speech that any other group that wants to get in, don't. America, to its great credit, to our great credit, we've stationed a battle carrier, an aircraft carrier outside of Lebanon in the Mediterranean, and basically said to Hezbollah that they should not get in. That is, in fact, the best available move. So again, there's a very plausible bad reason why he didn't mention Iran, which is to avoid the blowback from his own idiotic Iran policy. And there's a possible good reason, which is that he's attempting to avoid the broadening of the conflict.